Hello and welcome to our first installment of the Blends Club. I am so glad you could join me. I do have to apologize. I am doing a voiceover and the quality is very poor. However, somehow, for some reason, my camera failed and I did not get any sound on the first half of this video. So you just have to suffer through this voiceover for the first half. The second half, the sound did record. I'm not sure what the issue is, but hopefully this won't happen again. But we are using the Lovely Lattice stamp set this month. It is a celebration set that you can obtain free with a $50 purchase during celebration, which runs January to March 31st. So if you don't have this yet, you have plenty of time to get it. However, feel free to use any lined art image. Floral probably for these colors would work pretty well, but you can choose to change it up and use anything you'd like. So these are the two cards that we are going to be doing, and we will get the opportunity to color our embellishments. We're going to do the sequins as well as your ribbon, and of course make these pretty cards. So the colors we're using are the Lovely Lipstick Duo. We have the Balmy Blue Duo as well as the Soft Seafoam Duo. So these are part of your kit and your set. And then of course I'm bringing in from the previous Blends Club, we're going to use the Dark Daffodil for our flower centers. However, if you do not have this, if you were not part of our original Blends Club, don't sweat it. Leave your centers of your flowers white. That's perfectly acceptable. But I am going to pull in periodically throughout the club colors from our club last year. So we're going to get started. So I have my stamp here. We're going to mount that on our block. And the other thing you're going to absolutely need is you may not have if you did not participate in our club last year, is the black tuxedo, Memento Tuxedo black ink. This is very important to use this particular ink when you're working with your blends, for the simple fact that most inks do react to the alcohol inks in your blends markers. Memento is a special formulation and it will not react with your markers, so you can freely color and not have a muddy mess. So that's very important to use. So if you do not have Memento Tuxedo black ink, make sure you get that before you proceed, because you will ruin your markers. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with the Balmy Blue flowers. So that one you're going to have in your collection there in your little packet. You should have a Balmy Blue card base, which measures 8.5 by 5.5. Scored at 4 1/4. You're also going to find in your packet, you're going to have a little acetate piece in your packet that has your sequins on it. Just make sure you keep track of that, because you could easily misplace that. And you're going to need your sequins to complete your cards. All right, and then back to our pieces. Here we have a piece of Lovely Lipstick that's 5.5 or 5 1/4 by 4, and Whisper White, which we will be doing our stamping on, measures 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm going to make sure that you have a protective barrier between your table and your coloring surface, so that if the markers bleed through, it doesn't mark up your table. So I'm just using some grid paper underneath. going to try the voiceover again because we did have an epic fail on the first part of this. I hope you enjoyed the music, but we are now going to do the leaves, and we're going to be using the soft Seafoam. You're going to, again, start with the lightest color, and we're going to then highlight and shade with our darker version. Okay, so again, just like with the petals, we're going to lay down the lightest color first, then go back with the dark and do some highlighting. So we'll just do a couple of these leaves with you, and then we will go ahead and speed up the video and let you listen to some more music so that you don't have to suffer through these voiceovers. And again, I apologize for this video. I hope all future videos are much better. So again, just going in with a little bit of the dark just to add a little bit of shading to these buds and the leaves. And again, lightest color followed by the darkest color. So again, like I said, we'll just do a couple more of these with you and then we'll speed it up. And then you can just follow along with your own project. And this is where my battery died and I had to switch it out, so we might as well go ahead and speed it up right here. Okay, so that now completes the coloring on this particular card. Okay, so now we can just go ahead and put our layers together. So just use your preferred adhesive. I'm going to use some snail. And you'll notice that I did have some bleed through, but it didn't come out onto my scrap paper, but that can happen. That's why I do suggest, though, that you protect your work surface, just in case. Okay, so we got that. Oop. Get that centered on here. Okay. Go ahead. Attach it to our card base. Just like so. Okay, so now you're going to need your sequins, and you're going to take the dark Lovely lipstick marker, the brush tip end, the end that has the wide indicator, and you're just going to color your 3 sequins, just like that. Then using, you take your pick tool or other little device, grab them. They are self-adhesive, so they already have a glue dot on the back of them. You just have to pull them off the acetate and add them to your card front. And I'm going to back you out so you can see me do that. There we are. And that completes card 1. Okay, now we're going to go on to card number 2, which is the Lovely Lipstick card base. In that kit, you will have your card base, which is Lovely Lipstick 8.5 by 5.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. You'll have a piece of
Balmy Blue 5 1/4 by 4, and then of course your Whisper White 3 3/4 by 5. And we will do our stamping and our coloring on the Whisper White, so you can set everything else aside. And you do have a piece of Whisper White, what's the name of this ribbon? This is the Whisper White sheer ribbon, okay? And this is found in the annual catalog, and we're going to color this, but we'll do this when we're getting closer to needing it. So we're going to start with our image, and we're going to bring in our stamp again and our Memento black ink. Remember, we want to make sure we're using our Memento so that we don't have our markers reacting with the ink and causing a muddy mess. And bring in our cardstock and stamp the center. Just like so. Set that aside. And this time we are going to do our petals in the Lovely lipstick. We're going to do our centers again. If you do not have the Daffodil Delight, the dark, go ahead and leave your centers plain white. But if you happen to have the Daffodil Delight, you may want to do your centers. I'm just going to bring you in. And for the centers, we're just going to, again, just like we did on the other, just going to dab those centers with the Daffodil Delight. So we're now finished with that. We're going to bring in our light and our dark Lovely lipstick. You can take your caps off and set them aside. Oop. Just make sure you have the correct end. Again, remember, the wide is your brush tip. That narrow little line, that's your bullet tip. Alright, so we're going to start by saturating our petal with the light Lovely lipstick. And then we're going to pretty much exactly the way we did the other one. Right where the petals tend to come together. Add a little of that dark and then blend it out. Okay? Same with our little buds. Put a little color. And blend it out. Okay, so that completes the floral. Now to do the leaves. All right, the leaves we're going to do identical to what we did on the original Balmy Blue card. Again, we're using the soft Seafoam. We got the light. Actually, this one's the dark, so I'm going to get that open, and then we have our light. All right, we're going to start with our lightest, and we're going to saturate, and again, go back and do some shading with our dark. So we're going to just fill it in where there would be some shadows and overlap. Add our darker and then blend it out. Okay, so again, we're going to turn on some music and continue our coloring. Okay, so that completes the flowers. Now for this card, the other thing I did is I took my Balmy Blue and I used the light and I just went along the little frame here. And just where all those little polka dots are, I just colored it in. Then I took the dark and I went just along that bottom edge. And that completes all of our coloring except for our ribbon. So we're going to go ahead and put our card together. So get your adhesive of choice. Like I said, I just happen to be using my snail. And the Lovely lipstick does have more bleed than the Balmy Blue, just so you can see that. Alright, so now we're just going to go ahead and adhere that to our panel. And I'm going to stick this to our card base. So to finish this card, we want a nice ribbon that is going to coordinate with our project. And I wanted a Balmy Blue, and of course I don't have Balmy Blue ribbon, but I do have this pretty 1/8 inch sheer ribbon in Whisper White. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper. And you can tell this is my scrap. I've been stamping on it and everything. It's just a piece of copy paper. And I'm probably going to want, let's make sure I have enough ribbon here. Yeah, that should do it right there. Let's go ahead and we'll snip it off right there. Okay. Okay, so now you're going to take your piece of ribbon. You all have that in your packs. I'm going to take the dark Balmy Blue and my ribbon. I'm going to just run it across there like so. Now I have my end done. And just run it through. I would not advise doing a lot of this because it puts a little wear on your tip, but to do it on occasion, to get your ribbon to match your project, you absolutely can, and it's not going to harm anything to do it once in a while. But like I said, if you made it a habit of doing it all the time, you may wear your tip of your marker out. But again, like I said, doing it once in a while, not a problem at all. It hurts nothing. So now I have my ribbon, the color to match my project. It's in Balmy Blue. So now I'm just going to go ahead and make my bow. I can take my snips and trim it down. Grab a glue dot. And place it on your project. Now you can place yours anywhere you'd like. I happen to place mine right here, but you could place it here. You can go on the other side. So again, this is your project. Put it wherever you would like it to be. Oop. And that completes our Blends Club designs. I hope you enjoyed doing these. Again, we kept the coloring pretty simple and basic with the blends, but you did get the opportunity to also color your embellishments. And next month we will be doing Tea Time from the Occasions catalog for our Blends Club stamp set. So I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you back here next month at this time. Have a great day, guys. Bye.